Billy, who here in Pawtucket are you trying to stretch out into starting pitchers? Covey went a couple innings today. Hauk went a couple innings. Who down here are you guys trying to stretch out a little bit?
I think that's kind of like a fluid kind of thing. Hart for sure is a long guy, and we just have a bunch of guys that are sitting at that 2 inning range. So like Hauk was going to go 2 today. Mata was going to go 2 today. I think Mazza went 2 or 3 a couple days ago. I'm pretty confident right now that Hart is the only one that's going to be going like say 5. But that 2-3 range, several guys. I think Schwarn went 2 or 3 a couple days ago. So Hart, Mazza, Schwarn, those last 2 guys, 3 innings maybe.
Billy, just wanted to ask about Taylor and Darwinson. How have they kind of looked to you and to the staff over the last couple of days that they pitched?
So they just did live BPs. So I don't think we had defenses out there, and they're just trying to kind of get back into their flow. But Taylor looked good. I think Darwinson is scheduled to go again tomorrow. I think it's just now a point of them just getting some arm strength built up and game-like situations facing batters. Maybe by the weekend, first of next week, we'll have a defense out there, so it'll be more game-like. But both guys have looked like they're ready to go on up and help Boston.
And, just to follow up, we talk about development a lot, Billy, about guys improving, getting at bats, getting pitches. But how much is a big part of development getting a routine, a pregame routine that young guys can settle on? And how much can this taxi squad time be good for guys like Connor Wong, Jeter Downs to get a routine that they can stick with and it might carry them for the rest of their careers?
Well, I mean, I would like to think that they've all had kind of routines coming up, but I think getting acclimated to how we like to go through and how we try to put development at the forefront, I think they're learning that, and it's a much laid back situation than if they were like in the middle of the season. So the good thing about this is that everybody's able to get a lot of individual work. So the last several days we've had Connor, Jeter, CJ Chatham, Dahlbeck, all these guys out to get a lot of individual one-on-one work. And the fact that they're facing pitchers that have pitched in the big leagues or right on the cusp is only like helping them to be ready in case the call comes,
Just overall, what'd you think of Tanner's day?
It was kind of weird because he was pitching and it was raining and stuff, and so it wasn't like ideal situations. And I haven't had a chance to look to see like what his velocities and stuff were, but that was his first time facing live hitters since March. So he looked like he was under control, like he was not laboring. He mixed up his pitches, and I think the emphasis for him is going to be controlling the strike zone a little bit better, particularly against lefties. And so we tried to mix it in so that he faced a couple lefties. I think he faced Marco and Duran and Akami. So I think that's what he's really working on to get better, get more comfortable facing lefties.
How are you and Bruce Krebs kind of done being umpires, playing off each other, deciding what's ahead? And it looked a little trying to judge that ball off, I think it was Hernandez's bat there.
So we're challenged because we only have 3 outfielders. So we try to make it so that one outfielder is hitting every half inning. So other than that, we've tried to play each game with a full infield. And so, like, when balls are hit where there's not an outfielder, we just kind of say what our guys have made that play. So I got on Bruce a little bit kind of jokingly about that home run that was right down the line. I'm like, you got to work to get so you can see that ball. But it's given us a different perspective. I think when umpires, particularly on balls and strikes in the game, we have a lot of chirping going on. And I think what we're realizing is that it's a lot more difficult than we thought it was going to be. So um, that has helped us a little bit as well, just to know that hopefully those guys are back there trying, and it's not as easy as sometimes we think it is.
Have you guys even thought about maybe bringing umpires in to, like, so you don't have to have that responsibility weighing over? You can just, watch the guys and evaluate.
I think Major League Baseball is restricting the number of people that have access, so I don't think that's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Krabby and I have talked about putting on some gear and getting behind the catcher, but that might be for another day. But I think what we wanted to do is not have the catchers make those calls, because they are closer to their teammates, and if they call a borderline pitch on their teammate, then that might pose not a problem, but that might not be good for the clubhouse. So we're calling it from behind the pitcher's mound just to try to make it more even, if you will.
Jeter Downs had a good day at the plate, but how impressed have you been with his glove at short? It looks like very fluid out there.
For you guys that know Krabby, he's a really good infield guy, and the fact that he's getting a lot of one-on-one, not only just like defensive positioning and glove work, but the mental aspect of it as well. I've seen him get loads better since spring training, and I don't know what he had in the way of the other organizations that he's been a part of, but he seems to have taken a good liking to Bruce, and they work well together. And it's really cool to see him mature a little bit and come and seek us out for extra ground balls or just talking baseball. He's one of those guys that you just see him, you like appreciate what he brings to the table every day, and I'm thinking he's going to have a very high ceiling if he stays healthy.
Last thing from me, Billy, obviously, Major League Baseball with the Miami Marlins situation right now. Do you find it, as a necessary, as even a staff, to maybe remind the guys, and you've had this talk before about exercising carefulness when they're not here, social distance and everything, but do you have to find yourself reminding the guys, hey, this is important because you guys are the depth of the organization?
Yeah, we have that talk every day prior to our stretching or even in one-on-one. And like yesterday was one of those days where when we heard what happened in Miami, it was a kind of like a wake-up call to our guys. And what I noticed today is that many more guys were wearing their masks inside the clubhouse and things like that. So they understand it, and you never want to wish anything bad on a guy, but they realize that they are the depth and that they could be getting a call, any day. And so we'll continue to harp on that, and hopefully, we don't have a rash of COVID here like they had in Miami, which would really devastate some of our guys.
I'm all set. Everybody else?
I have a question. Billy, back to Jeter Downs. What have you seen from him in terms of his consistency? Baseball, you have a good day, a bad day, game of averages, things like that. But it seems like he's been pretty consistent day in and day out since he's been down here.
Yeah, he's what you would say is a true pro. Even when we're doing early work and he doesn't quite grasp a concept, I don't see frustration. I don't see him showing emotions. It's like a hunger. He's really like a sponge right now, soaking everything up. And so I think today he swung the bat exceptionally well, and you couldn't really tell. It wasn't like he was really high. He was really consistent. And as I've talked to him, even dating back to spring training, he's not going to bring a lot of attention to himself. He's just going to try to play the game to the best of his ability and do things the right way. And so it's really cool to see that he knows the hype behind, his rankings and all that stuff, but you could never tell. He doesn't big league anybody. He's hungry, and for me, the test will be when he gets to the big leagues. But when he gets there, is he consistent, or does he get caught up in being a big leaguer and doing things differently? But what I see now, I think he's going to be this humble and go about it the right way.
How'd Brian Johnson look yesterday?
After the first batter, he kind of settled down there a little bit and worked on a lot of pitches, and his tempo was better. And that's one of the things that I like. That is, he works fast, but I think he was there was questioning that first pitch that I called a ball, and then the next pitch, there was some damage done. But after that, I thought he was okay. And he's not going to overpower you with stuff, but he's just going to pitch, and he understands his strengths and weaknesses, and he's going to go out there and compete, and that's what he did after the first batter yesterday.
All right. We good, guys? Anybody else?
All set.
Thank you, Billy.
Take care.
Okay. No problem.